The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened in the Grand Circular Chamber on Nexus Prime. Representatives from over 300 species sat in rising tiers, their murmurs echoing against the vaulted ceiling. At the center stood Ambassador Gray, the sole human representative, facing the 5-member High Council. This assembly demands an immediate cessation of human military operations in the Orion Arm, announced Councillor Vex, his translucent appendages rippling with agitation. The casualties inflicted upon Durrani forces are unprecedented. Ambassador Gray stood calmly, hands clasped behind her back. She was a weathered diplomat of 60 Earth years, silver-streaked hair pulled back in a neat bun, her blue diplomatic uniform adorned with a single silver pin, Earth's insignia. The Council seems to have forgotten that the Durrani initiated this conflict, she replied, her voice calm but carrying throughout the chamber. 3 human colonies attacked without provocation or declaration. Councillor Raz, a methane breather, whose environmental suit concealed most features, leaned forward. The Durrani claimed they were responding to human territorial infringement. False, Gray replied. Our colonies were established in unclaimed sectors, following all protocols established by this very council. The central holographic display activated, showing the devastation of New Hope Colony. Buildings reduced to rubble, terraforming domes, shattered, and the unmistakable evidence of orbital bombardment. The images shifted to show 2 other colonies, Harmony and Prospect, similarly destroyed. 12,000 civilians dead, Gray continued, including children. A somber silence fell across the chamber. Even so, Councillor Trell interjected, his crystalline form refracting light as he moved. The human response has been disproportionate. The hologram shifted to show the wreckage of Durrani warships floating in space, followed by footage of human vessels, sleek, dark, and efficient, dismantling a Durrani defensive line with precision strikes. The Durrani expected us to be defenseless, Gray replied. They believed their technological superiority would allow them to seize our colonies with minimal resistance. They were mistaken. But you've destroyed their primary battle fleet, exclaimed Councillor Vex. Their home system stands vulnerable. Gray nodded. We have. Then surely this is the moment for peace, offered Councillor Lim, the eldest member, her feathered crest rising hopefully. The Durrani have learned their lesson. They underestimated humanity. Negotiations can, no, the simple word silenced the chamber. Humanity has endured much since joining this galactic community, Gray continued. We've been dismissed as primitive, our warnings ignored, our requests for protection denied. When we built our own defenses, we were called paranoid. When we trained our own forces, we were called aggressive. She gestured to the hologram, which now showed the faces of the colonists who had perished. Our patience is at an end, she stated flatly. The Durrani sought to make an example of us. We shall return the favor. Admiral Reed entered the chamber then, a tall man with a weathered face and steady gaze. His uniform bore the insignia of the United Earth Defense Force. The first phase of our response is complete, he reported, addressing Gray but ensuring his voice carried. The Durrani military capability has been neutralized. No civilian targets have been engaged. Phase 1. Councillor Trell's crystalline form pulsed with alarm. You speak as though this continues, Reed nodded. Phase 2 begins tomorrow. The dismantling of the Durrani government that authorized these attacks. The chamber erupted in protests. Councillor Vex banged a ceremonial staff against the floor. This is not how civilized species conduct themselves, he shouted above the din. The Council demands you halt this conflict immediately. Gray and Reed exchanged a glance before Gray addressed the Council again. For a century, humanity has attempted to integrate into this galactic community. We followed your rules. We respected your boundaries. We trusted your protection. Her voice hardened. That trust was misplaced. The hologram shifted again, showing the Earth fleet, larger than anyone had suspected, moving into position around strategic points in the sector. The Durrani attacked us because they believed there would be no consequences, Reed continued. They believed this council would issue strongly worded condemnations while our people buried their dead. They were correct about the council. They were wrong about humanity. "What do you want?" asked Counselor Lim quietly. "Justice," Gray replied. "The architects of the attack will face trial. Reparations will be paid to the families of the victims, and the Durrani will surrender their military capacity for a generation." "Those terms are harsh," Counselor Raz observed. "They are non-negotiable," Reed countered. Counselor Vex rose to his full height. "The council orders you to halt this conflict. For the first time, Gray smiled, though there was no warmth in it. "Humanity has spent decades listening to the council's orders and recommendations. We've watched you appease aggressors and ignore violations when politically expedient. We've learned much from observing." She stepped forward, her voice resonating with quiet intensity. "What we have learned is that in this galaxy respect is not freely given. It is earned through strength and resolve. The Durrani believed humans were weak. They were wrong." Admiral Reed's communications device chimed. He checked it and nodded to Gray. "Phase 2 is ready to commence," he said. "This is madness," whispered Counselor Trell. "You risk everything. Your standing in the galactic community, future alliances, trade agreements." "We risk nothing that hasn't already been proven worthless," Gray replied. She raised her chin, addressing the entire assembly. "For those watching these proceedings across the galaxy know this. Humanity desires peace. We have always desired peace, but we will no longer tolerate threats to our existence." She turned, back to the High Council. "You demand we halt. We've only just begun." As Gray and Reed departed the chamber, the stunned silence gave way to urgent discussions. The galactic community had gravely misjudged their newest members. Humanity had been dismissed as primitive, underestimated as naive. It was a mistake the galaxy would not make again.